A new mother knew something was wrong the minute she first held her baby. The couple whose child was swapped with the son of a British father hours after his birth in an El Salvador hospital have spoken of their agony at being given just hours to hand over the baby they'd raised as their own. Juan Carlos and Joseline Bernal revealed a terrible rush to say goodbye to the boy they believed was their son before his return to his real parents, Briton David Cushworth and his wife Mercy Casanellas. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. And the couple from El Salvador said they still love the child they had to give back, and admitting that finding the same affection for their real son has been very difficult. The Bernals said they had followed the Cushworths' public appeals to find their son after DNA tests showed the infant they'd taken back to their home in the US wasn't their biological child. Mr. Cushworth, who had worked as a missionary in El Salvador, accused staff at the hospital of deliberately swapping their baby to sell to traffickers, leading to the arrest of the doctor who had delivered the baby in May this year. But even though their baby had been born in the same hospital on the same day, the Bernals never once imagined that their own 3-month-old son might have been the missing baby boy they claimed. And the devoted parents who had struggled for 3 years to have a baby revealed their horror at having to give their baby back less than 12 hours after finding out he wasn't actually theirs. Joseline, 27, told the 19 Megavision TV channel that she had woken up as normal with her baby on Monday morning, only to go to bed the same day with another child, her biological son. Sobbing, she said, "It was very difficult for us to do the switch. For us, he was our son. We were with him for the first 3 months of his life. He was my first son and we cherished every moment. My first experience of breastfeeding was with him. He was our everything, our reason to go home at the end of the day to spend time with him. You do everything for your baby, changing nappies, everything, every day, only to find out that he's not yours. He belongs to someone else. It's devastating." Husband Juan Carlos, 30, added, "Our lives will never be the same again. That baby was our first love. Everything we did was for him and because of him. We gave him all our love. Of course, this isn't the baby's fault. They aren't the guilty ones, but this event changed our lives forever. In the morning, we were getting ready to spend the day with our baby, and in the afternoon, we have another baby. My last words to the baby as we gave him back was, 'God is everything. God bless you.'" And the couple revealed they were besotted with the wrong baby and that they're still finding it difficult to become attached to the real son they had to swap him for. Juan Carlos said, "It's been very tough. We still love the child we raised for 3 months. It doesn't mean we don't love our true son. He's our flesh and blood, but it has been difficult. I keep telling my wife that this is the baby we used to talk to when he was in our belly. It's not the baby's fault. We're still enjoying being parents. We love being parents, but it has been very difficult. Now we have this baby, the baby who grew up in his mother's womb." The Bernals also revealed how their son was a miracle from heaven after the couple had to terminate Joseline's first pregnancy when doctors discovered a tumor in her uterus in 2013. The couple then struggled for 3 years to have another baby, with Joseline undergoing 3 intrusive surgeries in an attempt to get pregnant again. Mr. Bernal said, "We were happy and planning to get married, but before the wedding they discovered the tumor, which had to be removed, and the wedding was called off. Doctors advised her to have a 3rd operation, but Joseline didn't want to do it anymore. She said she was exhausted and afraid, but I said, let's have some faith in God, let's try one more time. A month later, she got the news that she was pregnant. I was full of joy because we'd fulfilled our love by having a child. It was something that we wanted and needed. I was so happy to know that we were going to have a child." The Bernals, booked into the private Centro Gynecologico Hospital in capital San Salvador, considered the country's best birth clinic because the pregnancy was high risk, and it was the only hospital where fathers were allowed to be present at birth. Remembering the moment her son was born at 6:35 a.m. on May 21st, Joseline said, "They presented the baby to me and the first thing I said was, 'God bless you.' My husband took photos of the baby, then they took him away."
He was born, and immediately when he was taken out of me, he was passed by me, and I gave him a kiss, and then they took him to the nursery. He was taken to the nursery, and that was the last time I saw him.
It was only on the morning of the next day when they brought the baby back to me.
I started to tell all the staff that was in the hospital, and they all insisted and said, "No, this is your baby. You were medicated last night after the C-section. They put like extra medication on me." So I was not, they said, "You were not aware this is your baby. I asked the doctors, they said, this is your baby. So I'm like, okay, this is my baby.
Unlike the Cushworths, whose baby was born 15 hours later at 9:28 p.m., the Bernals insisted they never noticed any differences between the two babies or suspected that the baby they took home didn't look like them.
I never suspected, because you can see that it's just obviously not my child if you look at some of the pictures. How I don't know how I didn't ask myself. You don't think about these things.
I think we were in love. We were in love with the baby.
And despite a media frenzy after the couple returned from their home in Texas, claiming doctors had swapped their baby to sell to people traffickers, the Bernals had no inkling they would get caught up in the scandal. They were contacted by authorities investigating the case on September 4th, along with other parents of babies who'd been born on the same day to have DNA tests. 2 days later, on the morning of Monday, September 7th, authorities broke the unthinkable news that they had been caring for someone else's baby.
I thought, if this is my son, this DNA test is just gonna prove that he's mine, and this thought has to abandon me.
When the DNA test results came back, what did they say?
0.0% the mother of the baby.
It was impossible that that was your son.
Impossible, 0.0%.
That evening, at a meeting at the Attorney General's office, both sets of parents wept as they switched their babies back.
The thought that the baby that I had been nursing, taking care of, loving him, bathing him, that he was not mine. And then I had another thought which came with it, where's my baby? So I had two thoughts. What is gonna happen with this baby, and where's my baby?
The Bernals also responded to the social media rumors that the two families were friends and orchestrated the mix-up in an elaborate compensation scam. Their lawyer Amilcar Cardona insisted that the couple had never met or spoken to the Cushworths.
I remember that the judge called me into her room and she said, "We found your baby." And I when she told me that, I thought, like, I couldn't even, her words were like, "What? You found my baby?" I couldn't understand it. I couldn't believe it. It was something wonderful.
Great relief.
And then my lawyer in the car, he said, we were celebrating. Can you imagine, after all these weeks looking for him, and we were like crazy and calling everybody. It was a big party, and my lawyer said, "We have to bring the other baby." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, we found their family, and you have to hand them in."
Revealing that the paperwork to correct the baby's identities has still not been completed, he confirmed that, like the Cushworths, the couple are contemplating taking legal action against the hospital for their ordeal.
I really would love to see justice in this situation, Matthew. I'd like to know what happened. How did this happen? Because I don't want to see it happen to another person. It's done a terrible financial damage and emotional damage to us. But we're here, we survived, and God has helped us and comforted us through the process. And everything is turning out okay.
He said, "We haven't heard a word from the hospital. They have never been in touch or tried to reach out." If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.